It's one thing to tell a little white lie or make hints at brands you love, but lying to your audience is insane. And you think we wouldn't notice? Coachella. Oh, I'm so over it. There's a few things I hate throughout the years, right? Hearing about on social media. Coachella, the Oscars. What's that one where everyone dresses up apart from the men? What's that one called? My God, people go on about them all the time. It's always like, Coachella's like, what do you think of my outfits? And it's like, yeah, it's a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. What else am I meant to think about it? I actually don't even know what Coachella is. It's a festival, right? It's a festival and people wear things that are arseless, backless, pantless, neon dungarees. I'm not a festival goer person anyway, so I just don't find it interesting one bit. Okay, so of course, there has been so much drama with Coachella. The internet has been outraged. You know who's been even more outraged though? The influencers that have been kicking off online because brands have dropped them from their brand trips to Coachella. Yeah. Okay, this is Yasmin. Let's take a little second to see what she had to say.
I'm leaving for Coachella in literally 2 days, and I just got a text saying we're not going anywhere. It's canceled. Smiling, somebody don't cry, but this is literally insane. This is supposed to be my first year at Coachella, especially going with like an agency, and I was so excited because I was like, oh, I'm so fortunate that I get to go. Obviously now I'm not going. Oh, it's so sad. I literally have my suitcase already packed and now I'm gonna have to unpack it. Before you guys say anything, yes, there were contracts that were sent out. They were literally sent out yesterday and I signed them yesterday, and there was no clause in it that says like if they cancel, it would.
You know what? The only real loss is your excitement, right? And perhaps you had bought a few outfits before. Maybe these influencers are paying stylists to basically put them in what I consider post-apocalyptic fashion.
Have anything, like there was nothing. Honestly, should have seen this coming. This whole agency like Coachella trip was just so unorganized. I need to give you guys like the lore. So like basically I'm gonna start from the beginning. I was approached by this agency that I actually work with like non-exclusively. They basically were like, we're doing a Coachella trip. We have these 3 brands that want to send influencers to Coachella. They'll pay for everything. And in exchange, we would have to do like content for the 3 brands, right? Like, there was a lash company, a phone company, and then a hair curler. But all of the girls that from the agency are from the UK and I'm the only Canadian. And the lash company specifically only wanted TikTok shop videos. So I was unable to do any of the content for the lash company. So she said, that's totally fine. Just do the content for the phone company and then the hair curler. Now, because we had deliverables to do, because obviously it's like a content exchange trip, there was a schedule for the whole month of April on when we're supposed to be posting the content. Obviously, it's very normal. Obviously,
that's completely normal. You go on a brand trip and you either have scheduled content during that trip, or when you get home, you make a video or a dedicated video off the trip, or they give you, like she said, a month later, maybe you're posting a reel once a week for a month afterwards. So there is a contract a lot of the time.
if you're posting content before Coachella that involves having the products in the video, you would need the products to be sent out before Coachella. As you can guess, none of the products were sent out. Like literally nobody got anything. I think the only people that were able to actually make videos for the hair curler were the ones that already had the hair curler. But because she told me that like none of my products were going to be able to come on time, I was only going to be able to do the videos for while we were there and then after. So maybe about a week ago, the phone company ends up backing out of the entire trip. I don't really think too much of it because she didn't make it like a big deal in the group chat. She was just like, oh, by the way, this company's backed out, but like the trip is still good to go. So we kind of were just like, okay, like what does that mean for like our content? Like, do we still have to do like extra videos? And she's like, no, just the videos for the other two companies. Mind you, I already am not doing the videos for the lash company because I don't have TikTok shop because I'm Canadian. So now I literally only have to do like a certain amount of videos while I'm there, and it's like literally no content. It was amazing. So I should say at this point, she told me that my roommate that I was supposed to be with backed out last minute, and I had the entire premium suite to myself. And I was like, this is sounding so good. Like I have a whole suite to myself. I have to do like barely any content. It's just sounding way too good to be true. Mind you, we are 1 week away from Coachella, right? This was last week.
See, I don't know about you, but I'm packed maybe 2 weeks before I go on vacation. Like I've packed outfits, I've packed like the basics that I need. I still have stuff, you know, that I need to pack, that I need to use on the day of leaving, but I'm already packed.
And at this point, I'm like, hey, are the flights booked yet? She asks, hey, can you send over like some recommended flight options because you're Canadian? Obviously the UK girls are going to be on one flight, but like you can send over like whatever you think. So I send over the one that's recommended, whatever times work. And she was like, okay, great. Comes back the next day and she was like, hey, so our travel agent actually booked like different flights. Do these work? And instead of coming back on the Monday, they had booked me for the Tuesday at 6 a.m. So I would have an overnight flight at 10 p.m. Monday. arrive in Toronto at 6 a.m. Tuesday. I was like, no, that doesn't work. I have a baby. I have to be home. At this point, I resent the same flights because they're the cheaper option. I don't know why they weren't chosen first. And I was like, hey, like if we're able to do these instead, like this would work way better with my schedule. And she's like, okay, great. I'll tell them to change them. She comes back with the flights. They're the wrong times, but the right airline. They were with Air Canada. So I was like, okay, like I guess I can make these times work. I think I would get to our hotel at like 4 a.m. my time, which would be 3 hours behind. So 1 a.m. LA time, which is kind of late to arrive at a hotel. Like I'd miss the entire welcome dinner, which is like, why would we pick that flight? I don't know. And not to mention that the flight that they chose for the way back would leave at 6:30 in the morning at LAX. Mind you, I'm in Palm Springs. So like the drive from Palm Springs to LAX is 2 to 2.5 hours, which would mean that I literally, in order to get there on time, I would literally need to leave Coachella during Karol G's set.
When I went to Korea with a brand, and it was no fault of a brand because it was traffic, it took me 3 hours to get from the airport to the hotel.
Like that makes literally no sense. I came back and I was basically like, I literally cannot leave Coachella early to go get my luggage from the hotel to go drive to LAX. Like that makes, it's just not gonna work. Like, can I pick the later flight on the Monday? Like, can we just pick the flights that I literally said? Like at this point she had said, okay, they are switched. So I said, okay, amazing, right? Because I just said.
So I know that seems a little bit fussy, but if they're like, would you pick the flights and let us know? And it'd be like, yeah, here's the flights. And they're like, oh no, we'll choose something else. Then that is slightly frustrating. But you know what? Sometimes you just have to make things work, especially if you're going on a free trip and it's all free.
Pick those flights. She said, okay, they're switched. Awesome. So I make arrangements for babysitters and everything because I have a daughter, right? Obviously. Can't just like go fly out of town and like do whatever I want. I have to like make arrangements for her. So I do all that. And then 2 days later, I ask for the flight confirmation. She sends me a completely different airline. These flights are now with Porter Airlines and they are completely different times. Like instead of leaving in the afternoon on the Thursday, I would be leaving at 10 a.m., which doesn't make sense. I can't do that. I already made arrangements for my babysitter. Like, I reply and I'm like, hey, like those were not the flights that you said you were switching to. Like, can we just switch, please, to the flights that I've said?
It costs money
she's
to
like,
switch,
oh
right?
my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's the travel agent. Like, I'm so sorry. Let me get this sorted for you. I was like, okay, cool. Then that same like 30-minute span, she was like, hey, do these flights work? They are the flights that I've said. I'm like, yes. Please book those. Thank you. Thank you. Finally. I look at the flights. They're all good. I run them past my dad because he flies for work and he was like, yeah, it looks good. And I'm like, okay, let me go put it in my Air Canada app, right? Because it lets you put the booking reference code and then your last name and then it lets you pull up the flight. I'm Spanish. I have 2 last names. So I mentioned that, right? I made it very clear that you need to put my names, all of them, because they're all on my passport and it's very, you know, whatever. So I go to put it in. It's not coming up. It says wrong last name. So I said, okay, let me try my like just my first last name, right? Try it. It's not coming up. So let me try my second last name which is not correct. It's not correct. So let me try that and it works. So I'm like, huh, okay, the flight exists, but it's not the correct name. So
and you know that's going to be a big deal with a passport.
like it could just be a glitch on the app, but I have a hunch that it's not. So I go back to the agent of the agency, right? Or the manager of the agency. And I say, hey, it might just be a glitch, but just in case, can you just double check on the name for me? Because I have a feeling they might have put like maybe just like my first last name as my middle name or like whatever. I just want to make sure before I get to the airport, right? And then she's like, yeah, that is actually what happened. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get it fixed for you. So I said, okay, cool. Thinking it's just like a quick switch, right? A whole day goes by. I go to look at the booking reference again, put in my information. It says the flight's been canceled. At this point, I go back to her and I'm like, hey, the flight looks like it's been canceled on your end. Like, I'm just wondering. And she's like, oh yeah, like we're switching it for you. We should have flight confirmation soon. Mind you, this weekend was Easter weekend.
Don't you just pay for a name change? I don't know how to apply.
Right, so obviously everything is like closed and she's telling me, she's like, hey, I'm trying to get your name switched. Like I'm trying to call the travel agent, but they're closed for like Easter holiday or whatever. Still have hope, right? Everything else is booked. Like they have the hotel, they have, you know, everything. And I get a text this morning. Mind you, today is Tuesday. I fly out Thursday. The UK girls fly out tomorrow because of the time difference.
Oh.
I get this text.
It says, hey lovely, payments are processing internationally, which has caused a delay on flight bookings. Our travel agent has everything ready to go and is just waiting on the funds to clear before they can ticket everything, which is why it posted up as cancelled. There, I know I've been saying tomorrow and I'm sorry, everything is confirmed, just waiting on the international transfer to land and keep chasing the agent about this so you've got it all ready.
Okay, saying basically, We're just waiting on the funds from the brand in order to book your flights, which makes sense. Okay, I don't know how they do it. I'm not a manager, right? Okay, that makes sense. 2 hours later, I'm driving to my hair appointment, and I get this text.
Hey, lovely. Hey, lovely at the start. It's horrible. I need to be really honest with you, and I'm sorry if this isn't the message any of us wanted. Coachella isn't going to happen this week. I'm really sorry to let you down like this. Basically, what's happened is our brand partners have had major delays with their international payments, which meant our travel agent hasn't been able to ticket the flights in time. By the time the payments started processing, we'd run out of time to get everything confirmed. On top of that, products haven't arrived because of bank holiday delays, and it's just been one thing after another. I've been going back and forth with a travel agent for days trying to make it work, but I'm not in a position where I can guarantee anything is 100% sorted, and I'm not willing to risk that with you.
And I honestly thought it was like a late April Fool's joke, if I'm being honest. Because what do you mean 2 hours went by and now all of a sudden we're just not going? Where the whole trip is canceled. I call her and I'm like, hey, what do you mean we're canceling the trip? Like, what? If the flight is the issue, like, I'll book my ticket and you guys can just like reimburse me if that's the case, like, you know? And she's like, oh no, like I've also went ahead and canceled the hotel as well. And I'm like,
oh shit.
Why did you do that? That was basically it. Like, we're just not going. And yeah, I was so excited. I'm not like beating myself up about it because honestly, like it sounded too good to be true anyways. But I had such cute outfits. Like, yeah, maybe I'm dumb because I just should have seen this coming. So anyways, maybe I'll do what I would have worn to Coachella since I have all of my outfits. Love you guys.
I don't think it's dumb. If somebody tells you you're going to go, then you assume you're going to go, right? Especially if brands have something to do with it. So I do feel kind of bad for her because let me tell you why. From a work point of view, she's planned outfits, she's planned deliverables, she's planned what she's going to do with these brands. You have to have some kind of schedule in your mind of what you're going to do and how you're going to fit it into your trip. For example, again, when I was on a brand trip, I was up to 3 a.m. pretty much every day, making the content that was due the next day from that day. So there is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes on some of these brand trips. Not like the tart trips where they get you drunk on a boat, you know? She had a pretty good deal. She was doing 3 different brands that didn't mind that she was doing different brands in the same place. You know what I mean? It sounded pretty good. It did sound a little bit too good to be true. She's right.
An update on the agency that canceled our Coachella trip literally 2 days before. Today is Thursday and today is actually the day that I was supposed to be flying out. And obviously we are not doing that. I wanted to address a few things that have happened in the past 2 days. First thing being, a lot of people think this is like a PR stunt, which I really don't understand. Like if I wanted brands to send me to Coachella, 1, I would have said that in the video. And 2, why would I post it 2 days before? I know very well, like no brand is sending a creator 2 days before. And honestly, even if a brand were to reach out at this point, I have like trauma. It's going to
Yeah, 2 days before. I mean, a brand pretty much has everyone planned, but I don't think anyone's going to cancel on a brand that's taking them to this
reimbursing us apparently for all of our expenses that we paid for. So hopefully that happens. She did say I was going to get all the money for the reimbursement by Friday, which is technically tomorrow. So I will keep you guys updated on whether or not I get paid. A lot of people had comments saying like, this is such a first world problem. And I'm very, very, very well aware. Like
it very much is. But you do also have to bear in mind that Yasmin here has, if it's her full-time job to do this, she has kind of pot time aside and bought stuff. So it is a first world problem, but it's in her world that this problem is existing. So yeah, is it a big deal? No, because you can work from anywhere. You don't have to go to Coachella to work at all. Is it annoying that this agency let you down? Absolutely.
Like I said, I was even so fortunate to even get the opportunity. That's why I'm like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Obviously from now on, if I get an opportunity like this in the future, I will be very, very wary on like if I accept it or not. Honestly, I feel like I have every right to be upset. It was a major inconvenience for a lot of us on the trip. If she would have said it was canceled from when the brand dropped out like over a week ago, I would have been able to make accommodations in time. 2 days before, a lot of you were like, just buy your own ticket, you have money. Do you understand that like most accommodations are sold out for like a ridiculous price? Even if
the accommodation around these areas will absolutely go up. Hotels, places like that, that's true. Airbnbs, they put their prices up. Even like, so when Beyonce was performing in the UK, all the hotels around the area she was performing, the prices went up. And we're talking Holiday Inn level, charging £500 a night. Like, it's crazy.
Or to get a ticket in time, I still have to pay for flights and accommodation now, and the flights are so expensive. I'm also a mom. Like I said, I made accommodation accommodations for my daughter. There are also 2 other girls on the trip that made accommodations the same way. Not to mention the creators on the trip that already made content for the brand. So imagine you making content, posting it, and then thinking you're gonna get a trip in exchange, and then she tells you it's completely canceled. Like, I would be upset. I think honestly they are going to be reimbursed for hopefully whatever they usually put as their rate. Even that's like super messy, because I'm like, how do you negotiate that now? Another thing I'm gonna address is this a scam? Was this whole trip just not gonna happen?
It does make me think though, do you have management? Were they in touch with these people? Do they know that this is a reputable person, people to be organizing this event?
If I'm being quite honest with you, I do think it was gonna happen. I do. And this is my theory. This is all like my theory. So like this may not be correct, but this is what I think actually happened. Obviously, for a brand deal, influencers get paid X amount of money for certain deliverables. This trip specifically originally was a lot of deliverables. So I think that she was working with originally the 3 brands for X amount of money. Let's say 10,000 per creator. There's 8 creators on the trip. Let's say it was 10,000 each. That would be $80,000. So I think what she was doing is using that money, the compensation for the deliverables, to pay for the trip. Then like probably whatever else was like left over she would keep. Because mind you, like none of us were getting paid to go to Coachella. Like it was in exchange for a free flight,
the trip, the flight, and the hotel is the payment.
Free stay and tickets. So do I think like that was her motive, is to like get the little bit that was like left over for herself? Yeah, probably. Because the one brand dropped out, that's less money. But then none of the products came in on time. So she said, scratch all the content that you have to do before the trip. You're only gonna do the content during and after the trip, which is less deliverables, which equals less money. So at that point, you're probably looking at this overall and thinking it's probably not worth it because you're getting less profit off the top. And then the travel agent was not able to book the actual tickets. All the other girls had confirmation that the tickets were booked, but what really happened is the tickets from the travel agent were in holding. A lot of you guys commented saying your travel agents also, and it can show as confirmed, but really once you put the payment through, it's not confirmed until that happens. So essentially the tickets were in holding until they received the payment from the brand, but because the brand sent them a little late, they don't have the money to pay for all of our flights, which this should have been done before. So I think overall, she thought after that, like, it's just not worth it to continue going on with the trip. That's just my theory on like what I think happened. Also, I don't wish bad on the agent. She's like so sweet. I do think this was just very, very unorganized, and I try to see the good in people. But unfortunately, a trip like this does take months of preparation, and we just ran out of time, and it should have been dealt with much sooner. But yeah, that's my like mini update. I will update you guys by end of day tomorrow if I am paid. But yeah, love you guys.
I've personally never worked with like an agent from another agency. Like I have my own manager who's part of a management company, and they deal with everything for me. So I'm not so clued up on this agent situation who maybe she just gets random people jobs. If a brand is planning a trip, usually a lot of work goes into that, right? They have to get the influencers from place to place. How are they going to do that? How are they grouping the influencers together? Who's with who in what car? Where are we going? You have to contact places before for them to eat somewhere. You know, I feel like a lot of planning goes into it. So for it to be cancelled like 2 days before, it is a little bit crazy. It isn't just, and Coachella especially, isn't just like a weekend bag situation. It's bug spray, waterproof, the strange outfits, the boots, the huge shoes, you know? It does seem a bit of a strange situation. So obviously planning these trips is hard. There are thousands of influencers and content creators involved in these things, and just a lot of cogs in general. You can expect 1 or 2 people to run into issues like this. It's bound to happen. But apparently this has been happening to everyone.
So the thing is, when there's no contract, a brand can do whatever it wants. And I broke my primary rule, which was get excited and spend money on something before the ink is dried on a contract. And listen, I know there are real problems in the world, but yes, I was excited to go to Coachella, and I had a partnership with a hotel. It was...
Okay, listen. One thing about a brand's trip is they tell you a good few months before. So yeah, you may be buying a new outfit, you know, planning your outfits. So you do spend a little bit of money because, you know, you want to look nice. You're going to take pictures. You're going to do whatever. So I would be mildly pissed off if I was going on a brand trip and I bought some new stuff for it and they cancelled. And also just a bit disappointed because I would be like, you know, but I mean, buying some new clothes, save them for another time.
It wasn't a brand trip, but it was like, think of like a semi-quasi brand trip. So it was the hotels were sponsored. And we were gonna do, I think, 4 or 5 nights comped. My friend and I were both like, we were in on it, and we were gonna get a rental car. We were about to book flights, and then this morning, get an email that.
Okay, so usually on a brand trip, they pay for everything. So it's not a brand trip if you haven't, you know, a brand trip is paying for flights. They pay for your hotel. They take you out every day. You explore the brand. This is an agreement with a hotel. It's not really a brand trip.
They can no longer accommodate us because the hotel was booked out.
Yeah.
Which, good for you. Great. I guess your influencer marketing worked if you guys booked out the hotels.
But also, it's not just influencers going to Coachella. It's everyone else too. So if you have a hotel near the venue, you bet your prices are premium for that. You know what I mean? So are they gonna give up money to give somebody a hotel room complimentary for an event that's already taking place? Do you know what I mean?
So this does happen in the industry a lot, unfortunately.
Does it?
But I'm free. If anyone's looking for more creators for Coachella, I'm available. Do not ever get excited about anything in this life until it is in a contract.
I was packing to go to Coachella this morning, and on my For You page, there's just an abundance of videos of girls being like, I can't believe like this brand randomly uninvited me last minute, like Airbnb cancellations. I'm thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is happening. Like this is so insane. I can't believe people are doing this. Then I get a text from my manager. I'm not going to Coachella anymore on the birthday. 2 weeks before all of this, I had 2 options to go to Coachella. One of them was with a brand that I loved, but it just wasn't the best situation for me personally. And the second one came super last minute, and they offered like full flight, full accommodation, VIP tickets, everything. And I'm thinking this is like so good. Even though it's all last minute, it's all coming together. Like I finna be in the pit. As soon as they tell me like, okay, we can confirm you, they ghosted. So this is last week. Thursday up until Monday of this week, they completely radio silence ghosted me. I was thinking as of 2 days ago, I was not going to Coachella. And then randomly last night, in the middle of the fucking night, the brand reaches out back to me and is like, okay, send your clothing info, send your address, send everything, like flights, everything.
What?
We got you covered. And like one of the big agreements this weekend was like I only had to wear their clothes, which I was like, okay, like I'm fine with that. Today I'm thinking,
I mean, it's not a big burden, like you get some free clothes to wear.
everything is back on, like let's get this going. Then they asked me to sign this contract, and it basically said I wasn't allowed to go to any other event at Coachella. Huh? And this would have been fine if they had told me this in the beginning, but I had already RSVP'd to Camp Poosh, Revolve Fest, 818 Pose. Then I get back to them, I'm like, this is low-key so sneaky, like what the hell, y'all just snuck that into the contract. So then I asked them like, would it be okay if I just attend maybe just one event instead of like responding back being
in
yes or no.
You could say, you know, if it's a clothing brand, I'm going to go to these events. These are your non-competitors. A makeup brand, something else. Can I go to them, you know?
They fully were like, we're about to drop you, and then have completely ghosted me from then. So basically, I don't think I'm going anymore. Like, trust me, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful at all. I just think the communication was like so disappointing because people were planning this in real time. Like, I was getting ready for this in real time. Obviously, I'm so grateful that I even have these opportunities presented to me in the first place. And I know this is not the end of the world, like, clearly. But yeah, that's my full story, and that all happened this morning. So that's my bad.
A brand invited me to go to Coachella with them and also dropped me the same week. So let's go ahead and get ready while I tell you about everything. So go ahead and take a seat, Olivia, because honestly we have a lot to talk about. Okay, so all of this actually happened last month. I got a text message from one of my favorite brands of literally the whole world. And basically they were telling me how they were interested in taking me to Coachella with everything paid for. I'm talking artist passes. And after I got off the phone with them, I was literally so excited and so emotional and just so proud of myself. Because going to Coachella, especially with the brand, has always been one of my dreams since I first started making content. They added me to all the group chats of all the influencers that were also going. Baby, I was shocked. Because these influencers are a little bigger. Like, I'm talking in the millions. So, of course...
Yeah, but remember also as well, following doesn't always mean you're more influential. It depends how many people watch your content, how many people do this. And also, if you've shown love to a brand throughout however period of time, they might want to reward you and say, yeah, let's take this person on a trip with us, you know?
First, I already felt a type of way. I was like, oh. And then I found out that 2 of my other mutuals are also going with the same brand. And I was literally so excited. I was already planning my outfits and what I was going to wear. And then one of my mutuals, who was also invited by the same brand, ended up telling me that they had a whole nother group chat with just the bigger influencers. And turns out that most of the girls are a little disturbed that 2 of my other mutuals and me were going because we were boys. But it's like the girls were actually so mean about it, especially in the group chat. Like they were literally like just throwing a bunch of shade just because we were all gay and boys. And then the girls ended up talking to the brand, and guess what happened next? The brand set up a call with me and my 2 other mutuals. And during the call, they told us that the girls were explaining to the brand how basically they don't feel comfortable sharing a house with 3 other guys. And we were all gonna have our own rooms. So it's like, literally, what is the issue? But basically, the brand told us that they were gonna have to let all 3 of us go. That we would no longer be going on the brand trip. Maybe it's just the universe saving me from something.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that would happen is it a beauty brand? I can't.
That I don't know about just yet. Rejection is just redirection. There's bigger problems in the world right now than me losing a Coachella ticket. But like I said, if a brand wants to take me, or if somebody wants to take me as a +1, I'm now free. Bye best.
Now, you know, as sad as some of these, you know, creators seem, which, yeah, you would be if you thought you were going on a trip, a free trip. Not everybody thinks they're all telling the truth. And I kind of have to agree.
I was gonna be quiet about this and not say nothing, but you know what? I can't stand no darn liar. Half of y'all were not invited to Coachella. Half of y'all did not have a brand canceled on you. No one asked you to attend, and you had no plans on going.
Because it seems to have happened a lot this year. A lot. And Coachella's been going on for years and years and years and years. I think it may have happened to a group of people, and then they saw how much attention these videos were getting and kind of hopped on the trend.
Your pitches didn't work.
Or they were going anyway. They were like, a brand cancelled on me as part of the content, and they were still just going. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The email didn't get flooded with offers to come. You saw other people got canceled on. You saw the attention they were getting, and you hopped on the wave and made a video saying, they canceled on me a week before the trip. They canceled on me a few days before. They canceled on me in a few hours before the... Girl, nobody called you. Nobody asked you to come. Stop your lies. Stop the lies. I can't stand no darn liar. It's just so nasty lies.
Okay, so this says, sorry, but all the people saying brands ghosted them right before Coachella, and now you don't have tickets, flights, a place to stay unless you at the brand. I don't believe you. Just admit you are hoping a brand would take you and you failed to pay for it yourself because you think you deserve it for free. I don't even hear the word please in these videos. You know you can just pay for it, right? This is so true. And one thing I also have noticed in these videos is a lot of the disappointment is, oh my God, I had a really nice outfit. Is there no one you're looking forward to seeing perform there? A big part of Coachella. I do believe that some content creators have been faking it and faking reasons why they haven't been on these trips. I really do. It's content. It's a form of content. I do think they're hoping for one of these, like a brand to step in and be like, we'll take you. But they are doing that. I don't think it's right at all. It's lying to your audience. It's being like a little bit cheeky with another brand. I wouldn't put it past content creators to do something like this. And listen, yes, there are worse things happening in the world, 100%. But I mean, don't beat yourself up for feeling a little bit sad that something you were excited about isn't happening, right? That would happen to all of us. If any of us had booked a vacation or was going somewhere and someone cancelled last minute, we'll be a little bit disappointed. Two things can be true at once. I would be annoyed if something I was looking forward to went wrong, for sure. Listen, there is so much more that went on during Coachella. I'm so sick of hearing about it, but then I also love the stuff that goes on. Are you sick of Coachella content from influencers? Like, here's my outfit. It's like, yeah. Listen, I will see you in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.